Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Ford Ranger Tremor. Before we get in this video though, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Tim Daly Ford here in Spanish Fork, Utah for giving me some time with this Tremor. As of me filming this video, this particular Tremor is still available for sale, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering the Ranger Tremor is a turbocharged 2.3-liter four-cylinder that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now with this Tremor package, fuel economy is 19 around town and then 19 on the highway, with power outputs being 270 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, for those of you wondering, this Tremor is finished in azure gray, which is slowly becoming my favorite color on Ford models, but look at the hood design, pretty aggressive. Now, coming down below, you guys can see the daytime running lights, and then look at the headlights as well. And then we've got, of course, the Tremor coloration here inside of the grille, which is pretty cool. And then notice the grille itself, metallic gray. Tow hooks here on the bottom with parking sensors, and then we also do have fog lights. Now, the Tremor also does get skid plate protection underneath, and with this Tremor package, you have almost 10 inches of ground clearance. Now, coming around the side here, turn wheel setup is 265, 70, 17 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see here with the wheels themselves, metallic gray, and those are pretty dang aggressive all-terrain tires, let me tell you. Now, I've got these magnetic gray fender flares here, and then you can see Lariat badge on the side because this one's a Lariat package Tremor. And then we have the side step rock rail setup here on the side, which is also pretty cool. Of course, we got the Tremor decal here on the back, and then you guys can see got leaf spring action here in the rear, and then you got solid rear axle. And then here's your full side view of the Tremor. I absolutely love the stance on this truck. I think it looks great. Now here's our key fob. You guys can see we've got our unlock function, or lock function, remote start, and then the Ford logo there on the back. And speaking of back, so with the tailgate, it is not dampened, so you want to make sure that you lower it yourself. But here's the bed of the Tremor. So the Ranger X has a really decent sized bed for a mid-sized pickup truck. I'd say it's on like the larger size compared to a lot of other trucks in the segment. And then you guys can see nothing too crazy happening here. It's a bed. Now, lifting up the tailgate, it's actually really easy to get up into place. Notice the Ford logo, we got Ranger here stamped in the tailgate. And then look at the taillights here. I think those are cool looking. Parking sensors here at the bottom, and then we got the receiver hitch in the center. And putting it all together, let me know what you guys think about the style with the Ranger Tremor, but I think it's really sharp looking. Now, taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see here with the padding, and notice the stitching that goes throughout as well. And then you got more storage down below. And then here are the seats. Again, you guys can see here with the leather trim, and then notice like the suede inserts there in the center. I think that's pretty cool. Now, legroom in the back's actually fine in terms of like the knee space. It's just the foot space that's a little bit more cramped. That's every mid-size pickup truck though, frankly. And then you got little charging port action here. A couple other armrests, not gonna try to pull it out. It's such a pain in the Rangers, to be honest. And then you guys can see here with the glass, it's manual for the opening. Now, taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see here with all of the trim, and then we got all of our window controls. Front one is automatic, well, driver one I should say. Door lock and unlock, and then the mirrors have blind spot monitoring. And then here's the front seat. Notice Tremor right there, and then you guys can see with the inserts just like the back seat, it is power adjustable. And then we got our light controls right here. We've got our mirror adjustment. The mirrors do power fold in, and the steering wheel is manually adjustable. Now, taking a look at the steering wheel, we've got really nice padding all around. We've got some controls for either of the screens there. We'll go over that in just a moment. Volume, voice, command controls. It does have adaptive cruise control, by the way. And then you got your regular stocks there on the back. So here's our center gauge cluster. So again, the like one pad right on the left side of the steering wheel controls that side of the gauge cluster, the left side, so you can see different stuff like fuel economy, for example. And then you got what we will call the entertainment side, which is controlled by the right pad, so it's kind of interesting. And then we do have our terrain mode, so you guys can see we've got normal grass, gravel, snow, mud ruts, and then we have a sand mode that we can go into with the Tremor. Now here's our backup camera. We do have trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and then you also have the zoom in there with the receiver hitch as well. As for the rest of the infotainment system, response time is actually pretty solid overall, as you can see, and then we've got our dual zone climate controls right there on top of that. Now, this is always hard to capture on camera, but it's the auxiliary switches with the Tremor. You can see that we've got 6 of them, which is pretty cool. Gotta like the click sounds, but it's just in that little area right there on top of the dash. Now I've got analog controls here for like the volume. You got your climate controls down below, and then you can see all the charging port action with the USBs. And then we do have a rear locking differential with this truck. We've got our auto stop start, off-road cruise control, your tow haul mode, and then you guys can see with the parking sensors, stability control, and then a drive line select. So you got traditional 4-wheel drive, and that's your terrain mode select right there. And then shifter here for the 10-speed automatic transmission. You got plus and minus buttons on the side, so you can manually shift if you want. Got some cup holder action here, parking brake, and then look at the center console. This is pretty cool. And then storage space in there, it's pretty solid. And then yeah, look at this on the dash. And then also really nice trim at the top of the dash as well. And then you can see the glove box, pretty decent storage. So here's our window sticker for this Lariat Tremor. So 501A equipment group, azure gray. Like I said, wow, that's a lot. You have to pay almost $1,000 for the color. I didn't know that. But anyways, you've got all the other options added to this, and something that I forgot to go over, I suppose, is the HD off-road suspension with Fox shocks. Should have done that because it's a Tremor review. So here's a quick look at the shocks you have here with the Tremor. But anyways, total MSRP $50,205. Let's see how this drives, and let's see if it's RIP Colorado ZR2. Talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, dual blind spot monitoring, and thrust rear. And I realized I forgot to mention this also has heated seats. The button's just under the little climate control section, but we're actually going to, actually, you know what, we can go forward. This is, I forgot this, I can also get out this way. But anyways, Ranger Tremor. This is a really cool vehicle. Ford sent one of these out to Utah through the press people. What was it, for the I think it was a 21 model year. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 21 model year. And I took one of these off-road, and I got in a little bit of trouble because I jumped it. But like, I like learned a lot about this truck. Like, this is secretly a Raptor, because I mean, I didn't like get a ton of air. I mean, you can just go look up the videos if you ever have a chance. I think that's when we jumped over a teddy bear too. So that's always a good metric for how off-road capable a vehicle is how many teddy bears you can jump over. But it's quite impressive what this truck can do off-road. It's serious, like from crawling to like the high-speed stuff, like it does it all. The Fox shocks with this truck, they really help out with the damping at the high-speed level of things, and then, you know, the tires and everything, they give good grip, and this is like a great size when it comes to a mid-size pickup truck. And that's the thing I love about just mid-size pickup trucks in general, is the size of these trucks, because they're like just big enough where like you can use them as like a daily driver vehicle, and they've got a decent amount of space, and you know, you can stuff kids in the back and everything, but they're small enough that they're really good on the trails and everything. And maybe I shouldn't have gone this way. I didn't realize the traffic was going to be so bad down here in Spanish Fork. Maybe it's because it's warmer temperatures, and so everyone's getting out and driving. But speaking of stuff, seats are really comfortable, so I think that's a big plus. Yeah, I love how this handles. Yeah, there's that little pothole, didn't even exist. Again, the tires and the shocks, the damping on this is just so good. And this kind of has like, it's a pickup truck, but it handles really well. I mean, and you can kind of see going around the corner here. It's kind of fun, it's fun to drive. It's got good power too. I mean, we'll get a acceleration from a standstill up here in a moment. But yeah, like, this has a lot of Raptor, you know, like things about it, with like how it goes over bumps and handles everything. Like it's really solid. So we are going to be getting our acceleration here. Oh, this thing's quick. Man, this 2.3 does not disappoint, let me tell you. So let's sum things up, and let's, you know, talk about the Colorado ZR2 a bit. So here's the deal. A lot of people are probably going to be comparing this to the Colorado ZR2, I imagine, because the ZR2, right, that's like Chevy's, you know, top of line off-roader, similar tire size, similar like overall theme, right, where it's an off-road truck that can do low speed stuff, but that can also do high speed stuff as well. And here's what I'd have to say when it comes to powertrains. Yes, Chevy's powertrain does have more horsepower and more torque, especially torque. Like it's a pretty large margin, but you can actually get a factory tune on this from Ford without void. It maintains a factory warranty, and you can get more power out of it. Now, it's still not going to be Colorado level of torque, but it's still really solid. Again, it's more than enough for a mid-size pickup truck. And the other thing to mention is, like, just look at the reliability of the 2.3 versus the 2.7. That's all I'm going to say. Just look that up when you get some time. And then the next thing it's going to come down to is value. So the ZR2 starts at like $48,000, if my memory serves me right. This is fully loaded. Like, this is a loaded up Tremor Lariat. It's got all the options that you can get, and $50,000. So if you wanted to get like a loaded up ZR2, I mean, you're talking, you know, closer to like the $60,000 range, especially for that Desert Boss version, which I feel like the Desert Boss would kind of, again, that's more like competing against the Ranger Raptor, which we don't have here in the US. But the point that I'm trying to make here is this is a really good value. And you know what, even though, again, it doesn't have as much power, I think that the reliability with this, I think that's something to consider. But let me know which one you would pick. Would you do ZR2 Colorado with the new one, or would you do this Ranger Tremor?